everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're doing our National League South predictions. Now, I've not uploaded for a week, I've had exams and I've had to prioritise that, but now I'm back on YouTube. Let's just get straight into it, really. 24th place, Salisbury, 23rd place, Slough, 22nd place, AFC Totton, and 21st place, Hornchurch. I'll do my relegation straight away. Now, Salisbury just about escaped relegation last season, in 20th. They were not great for the majority of it, and they somehow stayed up. I think they'll go down in bottom. Slough, similarly, they didn't end the season very well last year. They were poor for large parts, but they did all right, I suppose. AFC Tottenham, newly promoted side, never been at this level before. They'll struggle, they'll go down. Hornchurch, it's one of them. Just they lack consistency, quality, and obviously with this league not being the best quality, they'll get relegated. 20th place, I've got Hampton Richmond. In 19th place, I've got Tonbridge Angels. In 18th place, I've got, where are they? Enfield. And in 17th place, Bath City. Again, all four of these sides are good enough to survive, but they're not good enough to compete for anything else. I think Hampton and Richmond did all right last year, but they've lost a lot of players, and they are going to regress a lot. Tonbridge Angels, similarly, I think Tonbridge just one of them teams that do all right most years, and obviously they were top half last year, but they're going to struggle this season. They're going to finish 19th. Enfield, always in and around the lowest bottom half of the league. They'll stay there. And Bath, obviously, not really a football city. But they'll finish 17th. They'll survive easily again. 16th, Hemel Hempstead. Obviously, one of the bigger clubs for this league, you'd say, really. But they don't have any sign of getting to the National League again anytime soon. I think they're just not good enough to get push for top half anyway, especially not playoffs, which some people think they can. I don't think so. I think 16th is reasonable for them, definitely. 15th, Chelmsford. 14th, Farnborough. And finishing this list in 13th, Chippenham. Yeah, I think it's very fair, to be honest. I think Chelmsford have one of the worst stadiums in the country. And they've not got a very good fan base, let's be honest. It's a small fan base, like most of these clubs do, but they do all right. Bottom half, definitely, for Chelmsford. Farnborough finished 10th last season. They'll regress a little bit. They'll fall off a little bit. They're just not where they need to be, really, at the moment, Farnborough. See, they're a new side, but they're just not going to do as well as people think they are. And Chippenham, similarly, mid-table most years, and they'll be in that position again. Let's be honest here. Yeah, it's a hard league to predict. I don't know too much about it, but from what I see, it's all right. In 12th place, first relegated National League side were Ebbsfleet in 12th. They were atrocious last season. They were so bad. I think they won 2 games out of 46. They were absolute shite. Absolute shite. And they came down with a whimper. They were shit. And I think they're going to struggle to get back into it for a long time. I think they're going to stay mid-table National League South for a long time. I don't think we'll see him return for a good long while. 11th place, Chesham. I think they'll improve. They had a good cup tie last year against Lincoln. Obviously, they lost 4-0, unfortunately, but they did well in the qualifying rounds, and I think they've got the backing to do it. I think they'll do all right. And 11th, 10th, I'm going to see a massive improvement from Dover. I think, again, probably you'd say there's one of the big clubs in the league. They're strong enough to do a lot better than they have done over recent years. Obviously, promoted last season to this league, and I think that they'll be in a good position to really come straight through and comfortably survive and just about miss out on playoffs in 10th place. Making up this final category, 9th, I've got Horsham, and in 8th, where are they? I've got Western-super-Mare. Yes. Horsham speaks for itself, really. Always, qualifying for the first round of the FA Cup. Never really getting into the National League. I just don't think they're there yet. Same with Western-super-Mare. Obviously, they got playoffs last year, but It's more competitive this season. And I see them missing out narrowly, very narrowly on the last day of the season. Anyway, here comes the playoff chase. 7th, Maidenhead. 6th, Worthing. 5th, Maidstone. And 4th, Dagenham and Redbridge. Now, Maidenhead obviously came down last season, but they had really good form towards the last 6 games. They only lost one of the last 6. I think they'll bring that momentum into this league, and they'll get playoffs. Worthing, obviously, they should have probably gone up last year. They didn't. They got beaten in playoffs by Maidstone, which was obviously disappointing for them. But I think they'll learn their lesson from that. Really, they'll have to, if they want to go back and try and compete for promotion again. I think they'll get playoffs. They're strong enough to do so. And they'll get it. Same with Maidstone. Obviously, George Alacobi's in charge. They were very unlucky against Bournemouth in playoff final. They tried what they could. They created some good chances, but they didn't have the quality. But they'll have the quality to finish in playoffs in 5th. And Dagenham and Redbridge, obviously, probably the biggest club in there. You'd say no, second biggest. But Dagenham are a long stayer in the National League. It finally caught up to them last season. Relegation did, and it's going to be the end for Dagenham because I don't think they'll win the playoffs. I think they'll finish 4th because they're strong enough to do so. But attendances will drop, players will leave, and it's just a bit of a mess down there at Dagenham at the moment. And just because they have enough quality to finish 4th, they will, but they just won't go up. 3rd place, Dorking. 2nd place, I'll come on to that in a minute. Now, Dorking, Mark White's team, I think they're a strong candidate for the title. Obviously, they got beat by Bournemouth in the biggest bottle ever in the playoffs earlier this season. But I think they'll improve again. They'll do what they can to try and get promoted. But at the end of the day, quality's there to finish in the top 3, but the quality's not quite there to win the league. So yeah, I've got Dorking Wanderers to finish 3rd, and my 2nd place team is Torquay United. Now, Torquay United were obviously 2nd last season. They didn't go up, but they'll finish 2nd again. Biggest club in the league by an absolute mile. No doubt about that. Biggest club in league. And they've got a backing behind them at Plainmoor. And I think they'll do really well because previous seasons they've done well. They've just struggled to get out of the List League. The playoffs is their horrible area of football. They struggle to go up in it. They just lose it right at the end of the playoff campaign, and that's why they'll finish 2nd because I think they'll fall short. 2 champions this year will be Eastbourne Borough. Now, Eastbourne Borough, they should have gone up last season. They've fully bottled it against Maidstone at their own place, and but this year they're going to win it. They have best squad in the league, really, on paper, you'd say, and I think they'll be going up to the National League, which is the dream that they'll want at last to get. But at the end of the day, Eastbourne played really well last season. They were very close to winning the league. People forget that the gap for the league was so close, really close. So Eastbourne Borough to win the league and to get promoted alongside them, it will be Torquay. I think Torquay will finish 2nd and will go up in playoffs and go up with Eastbourne. I think that's 2 really good promoted sides there going up. And then obviously relegation, Salisbury, Slough, Totton and Hornchurch. I mean, it's going to be an interesting league. I've done what I can to predict it. I don't know much. I don't watch it very much, of course, but I've read into it a little bit and I've done what I can with my predictions there. So thanks everyone for watching. And if you are a National League South fan or a fan of a team in the National League South, let me know your predictions in the comments. But please keep it friendly. I don't want any nasty comments against me if I've put your team in a certain position. I like to keep it nice and friendly. But thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll be back very soon with my National League North predictions, and then we'll go into the Foreign League. So thank you, everybody, for watching, and see you in the next video.